according to my critics, it's okay.
Monique Johnson spends a lot of time in this corner of her home painting.
Now the cool thing about these brushes, they're rather long. Since my arms are short.
Like many situations in her life, she adapts. Sometimes it's with help from her assistant, Fatima.
Thank you.
The oldest of 5 girls, Monique was born as a little person, but she hasn't let that get in the way.
I really wanted to have, a full college experience.
After studying at North Carolina A&T State University, she went on to study at Elon Law School. She wanted to be a trailblazer for other students with disabilities.
Why not use my voice and use my knowledge, use my intellect to help others?
Monique helps others by sharing her story as a motivational speaker, but other times, like today, she's personally donating art to different causes.
Well, I thank you for always supporting me. I appreciate it.
Then it's off to buy more art supplies.
All right.
Wherever you see Monique or other people with disabilities, she says it's important not to undermine their abilities.
All right, so you see this container right here that's for $149.
Even if you think you mean well, one little thing that bothers her.
If I'm asking for help or if I'm needing something to find a certain item in the store, I've had situations where, I'm asking an associate and they don't talk to me, they talk to my sister. And I have to kind of assert myself and be comfortable with asserting myself to say, hello, I'm here, I'm speaking, I'm communicating with you.
To be seen, respected, and heard.
But I've learned to not just deal with it, but use it as a means of educating the other person.
Educating and possibly helping change things for other people with disabilities.
I mean, at the end of the day, we were created by the same creator, and he just got unique with us.
Unique, just like each of Monique's paintings.
Maria Salcedo makes time to do what she loves, like practicing yoga.
A couple times a week.
And caring for her plants.
If you listen, they tell you what they need, so.
Now that she's working from home more often. For Salcedo, that job involves speaking in her native language, Spanish.
This is me email.
She works for Siembra en Sí, a grassroots organization defending rights of immigrants and Latinos.
I've always been really passionate about politics, especially immigration politics.
Salcedo moved to the U.S. from the Dominican Republic at a young age.
I grew up hearing Spanish at home and then English in school and feeling really disconnected.
It took her a while to identify as Black and Latina, sometimes also known as Afro-Latina. According to a 2016 Pew Research Center survey, Afro-Latinos like Salcedo have a unique view on race. 39% identified as white alone or white in combination with another race. Only 18% identified at least one of their races as Black. Salcedo, though, makes it clear.
I am Black and Latina, and there's nothing wrong with that, and the Black is beautiful.
But one little thing that bothers her is other Latinos not embracing it. For Salcedo, it traces back through Latin American history when colonizers created a racial caste system favoring whites.
I'll get asked, why is your hair like this? Because my hair is in dreads.
She says comments undervaluing features that are not white don't end there.
So whether that's we need to improve the race, or don't stay out in the sun too long or you'll get too dark.
There is one little thing you can do or not do to help.
Stop making anti-Black comments.
And when you first meet her, don't let the first question you ask be, what are you?
I get asked a lot, why do you speak Spanish? And then I have to kind of defend my Latin identity, and it's very exhausting, and it hurts. There we go.
Salcedo is proud of her background, but she says it will come up organically once you get to know her.
For the first time in over a year, Terrell Midget is picking his friends up from Raleigh-Durham International Airport. He says they're due for a much-needed reunion after COVID-19 kept them apart for too long.
And we parked right outside in a black Tahoe.
How are you?
All the light-skinned dudes, all the light-skinned dudes here. How you doing?
Midget and the men with him have vitiligo. It's an autoimmune disease that causes a loss of skin color over time in blotches.
This right here was probably around 6th or 7th grade when it first started. You really can't tell, but I was wearing makeup right here, and it started on my fingertips. And I didn't know what it was, and it just started spreading. This is my senior picture. See, my hands had totally turned white, and I started wearing makeup, Dermablend, and I wore Dermablend up until 2017, so that was, 34 years of wearing Dermablend. Wish I could have had that money back.
These three men, all at different stages of the disease. Ben Brown was diagnosed 6 years ago at 35.
You have to learn how to nurture your children while you're trying to nurture your own insecurities.
And Perry Whaley has had it for 30 years, leaning into the attention vitiligo brings.
I was very identifiable. My personality and my confidence had always stood out, so it wasn't anything new.
But for Midget, little things that others say or do have made living with vitiligo difficult.
When you sitting out at eating dinner with your wife or playing with your kids, you have to deal with that abuse from people saying negative things as far as, I've heard things as far as being called a cow. I've been called blackface. I've been called all types of stuff, man. And you sit here and you ignore it, but it still hurts. It cuts deep.
These men are meeting up as a support system for each other. That includes talking about experiences like Brown's and how he would like people to approach him differently.
The only thing that bothers me are the mean looks and the long stares. I do understand the staring because it's something different, something out of the norm. Hey, by all means, take a look, take it all in, but don't glare and stare unless you're going to engage.
It's a little thing for him that would make a difference. Their mission is to raise awareness, to help people understand, to normalize. And it starts with them just being together.
Hey guys.
Being outdoors is important to Tina White's well-being.
Dug this pond out last year. I just love coming out and taking care of that.
She feels connected to nature.
This is my church.
And welcomed.
When I'm out here, I don't feel gendered or judged.
For people who do make her feel judged, she says perhaps they could take a lesson from the earth.
Just learning more and more about all that's going on underground that we don't see. And it's a theme of my life, how much of life in the world we don't see. We judge everything by its surface.
She wants to try and change that, not just for herself as a transgender woman, but for others in the LGBTQ community. That's one reason she began working with the Blue Ridge Pride Center in Asheville as an activist in 2016, but only after a lifetime of gender dysphoria.
People think that I spent my life wanting to be a woman. I spent my life wanting to be a man, actually, and trying to man up.
Being unhappy with who she was, she finally transitioned from male to female in 2014.
Mary and me, when we came to check out Asheville about 8 years ago, and then 2 years ago, took the same picture, and as you can tell, the only thing that changed is the color of my phone. That and a little reupholstering.
Her latest project is building a virtual LGBTQ center.
Right now it's just a directory, so I think of the yellow pages, but these are the welcome pages.
It lists businesses, churches, groups, and organizations within Western North Carolina that are welcoming to all.
It's actually the little things that make a huge difference.
Tina says for her, being welcoming means engaging, not shying away, and making conversation where she doesn't feel labeled. It can be as simple as,
how's your family? How's your lawn doing? It doesn't matter what it is, but just engaging me as a person.
So every interaction, no matter how little, is a chance to change perceptions.
I think people learn most, not from statistics, but from your own personal experience, because that's authentic.
And authenticity is what Tina spent her whole life working towards.
Song On Nguyen designs socks at Features, including these sold at stores in the U.S. and abroad. She's proud of her accomplishment during her time in Charlotte.
So when I see it, I get emotional.
Designing allows her to be creative.
I'm still really quiet, and I feel like art was how I express myself.
Lately, she's also been expressing herself online, taking a stand against Asian hate.
I've held back for a long time, and I feel like with everything that's going on, it's really important to speak up, to make people aware that even though I look different, I am like you.
It's also an opportunity to share more about her culture.
My mom made these a lot.
The 31-year-old was born in Vietnam and moved to the U.S. when she was a child. Nguyen and her husband cook Vietnamese food.
My all-time favorite dish is Morning Glory stir-fried with garlic.
And post pictures of their dishes on Instagram. It was initially for fun, but then the pride in their heritage took a deeper meaning. According to a recent survey from the Pew Research Center, 81% of Asian Americans say violence against them is increasing.
Then something like coronavirus happens and China gets blamed for, and we see discrimination on not just the people but food as well. Let's take steps forward, not backwards.
So they started sharing more Asian dishes and making their voices heard.
That's what made us, I think, post and talk about these things more.
As for what you can do to help, take the time to get to know Asian Americans instead of assuming all of them are the same or speak the same language.
There are 48 countries in Asia that have different cultures, different languages, and I just want people to realize that you can't generalize us all together.
Nguyen doesn't mind talking about her heritage, but one little question that bothers her is strangers asking her, where are you really from?
It's like, am I not American? You know, like I think that makes me feel like I'm not from here.
Because she's proud to be Asian and American, but it took a while to really feel comfortable showing it.
Later in college was when I felt like, okay, like I should be proud of our food and our culture.
And your acceptance can help others feel the same.